So you got a woman that's going to really tell y'all her story about what happened to her when she left her husband. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Divorced my husband. Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places. And this one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one. And my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just going to call it like a TI is. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to my husband. I felt like I was on this dark road with no street lights, pitch dark, and I couldn't find my way and didn't know which way to go. I felt lost. I felt like I was walking barefoot on that dark road with pebbles and hot rocks sticking my foot. I felt hurt. I felt alone because every time he and that one and this one and that one left my bed, I was alone all by myself. And which was supposed to be soft and comfortable for me, my pillow, it was now filled with tears. I should not have left my husband.
We hear so many stories like this these days. You have, and I see it's within a certain age range, I'm noticing. So it seems like women are starting to get into their 40s. Between that 40 and 50 range and maybe early 50s, I'm noticing that it is a interesting time for women. Now, I did some research on this, and they say that, we always talk about the men having a midlife crisis. Well, women also have a midlife crisis as well. And really that's not talked about. It's women having their own midlife crisis. And they start looking at their lives certain ways, and you may see them, going through different changes. But in that range between the 40s and 50s, they talking about in the area of marriage is, of course, a lot of times menopause to get started in that age range, whether it's perimenopause or just straight menopause itself. Between all these different changes are happening to them, and some of them, if they don't watch it, they start looking at things and then they feel that, oh, well, I can do better in my life without my husband. Oh, I got this money. Oh, I think I can do better. The streets is calling. I can get a better man. Look, I'm in a better position. I can do everything a lot better outside of him, not realizing you with this man all this time, and maybe you wouldn't be in a position you're in except you being with this particular man to allow the circumstances for you to get in the position that you're in, possibly, right? But then she says basically she got in them streets. Her husband moved on with someone else. And then she was getting nothing in return. Sure, she was in them streets. Sure, she was getting men coming in and out of her life. You heard her. But then she said at the end, she was crying tears on her pillow because she wasn't doing right. Let me tell y'all something. I talked about this last set of videos I made for this channel. Marriage is a covenant. And when you think that you could take man's law and say, well, I'm leaving because of irreconcilable differences, you're breaking marriage covenant. And when you break marriage covenant that you said before God, there's consequences coming your way, sweetheart. And we know in this country, 75 up to 78% of divorces are filed by women. Men aren't getting in their 40s and all of a sudden say, yeah, I want to leave my wife now. I want to go out there and chase these women now. I'm in my 40s. I can get a lot better woman. I'm just going to leave my wife. Most men don't do that. Most men stay within their families, according to statistics. We talking about men of all groups. She's crying on a pillow because love will elude her. You see, love did not elude her husband because he did not break the marriage covenant in the wrong way. She broke it by leaving. So he is still underneath the blessing of the Lord. What y'all don't like to talk about is when you leave your husband for irreconcilable differences, you now are underneath the curse. So every man you think you're going to get or whatever, yeah, he going to leave you in tears. The only way you can fix it and get from underneath the curse is to hopefully go back and get your husband back. Go get him back. And listen, you better tell him whatever you got to tell him. You're sorry, whatever the case may be. You made mistakes, whatever, and hopefully he hear you and still love you like that. And whatever, and hopefully he could take you back. And if he do take you back, you better be the best wife times 1,000. Because you were given a second chance when he didn't have to give you one. See, getting a position at a job that they can let you go tomorrow on, they can let you go tomorrow. They can let you go, and a lot of times that'll happen. All the life you had before him or with him, that can be all stripped away from you in one fell swoop. In one day, lost your job. Now you can't pay for your car. Now you can't pay for your place to stay. Everything just hitting you one after another after another. Look at Tyrese and Samantha. Samantha was living with Tyrese. She's married, have their child, fine. Samantha broke marriage covenant, and then now she want to call Tyrese talking about they about to put me out my spot. Can you come get the baby? All she had to do was stay in her marriage. That's it. Well, I don't feel this. Listen, as human beings, we go through ups and downs and all arounds. You don't just leave your marriage. And see, this is why a lot of men, and I can say this, why a lot of men are also, going overseas. This is why they're doing it. It's because in a lot of other cultures, you don't walk away from your marriage. That's not something you do. You walk away from your marriage, it's not legitimate. It is a shameful thing. Your family will shame your behind. Your family don't want nothing to do with you. There have been people like that you walked away and it wasn't because of, you got over here to this Western world. You start taking on the Western ideology, which is horrible. And then now your family don't say, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you. And men see that. So let this be a cautionary tale. Don't get in that midlife crisis stage and mess your life up. Don't do that. Because living with regret is horrible. Oh boy, living with regret is a horrible thing. And you don't want to be in that position. Stay with your family, take vacation, do whatever you got to do, but stay in your family. Because I bet you she wished, and she said it, I should have stayed with my husband versus her being over there with all these different men. And love is